Good morning, Bala. Bala, just give me a few minutes. We'll start the session. Good morning, team. This is Ashish, your success factor trainer. So let's start your session. Hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
All right. Before we get down into this, so today is the first session of your Employee Center team. Before we start the session, let's get a quick round of introduction. So yes, Sophia.
Hi everyone. I'm Sophia and working as a recruitment executive since almost 5.5 years.
This
Okay.
conference
Uh,
will now be
yeah,
recorded.
and basically I'm from Andhra and now I'm in Bangla working for an Indian MNC company.
All right. So now you're looking for a change in technical, right?
Yes, right.
All right. Fine. Fine, Sophia. And So next person is Bala. So I already, yes, Bala, would you like to give your introduction? Hello, Bala? Bala, are you able to hear me? Yes, Bala. Yeah, because there are other people also, right? So though yeah, go ahead. All right. Fine team, let me give you my introduction before we start this session. My name is Ashish and I have a total 15 years of experience. Out of 15 years, I have roughly 11 years of experience into your SAP HCM and close to 5 years of experience in SuccessFactors. And at present, I work as a project manager in one of the big MNC, and and now So before this, I was in Singapore for 5 years. So this is what my complete experiences goes into. So today we're starting with the Employee Central, and so the first 3 days it will be only the theory of Employee Central. So let's understand what is Employee Central. So today is only going to be this theory team. So what do you understand by the Employee Central? Yes, team. Let me know, what do you understand by the Employee Central?
As per the demo, I understood like the Employee Center with all the information
Sophia, your
about.
voice is not coming, so I have to assume everything what you are saying actually.
I was telling that information about all the employees, all the information about employees will be stored or updated in one place. That's for the Employee Central, as I understood.
All right, information about employees. So what kind of information?
All about like performance,
Performance, okay. What else?
appraisal regarding.
Yeah, performance appraisal is the
So,
same thing, right? So what else? Which other information do you think it is required for the employee?
mm,
Yes, it's about master data. Yes, employee information about employee. We are just talking about the master data only, right? Personal information. In personal information, there's a lot of information, right? So which personal information you're talking? Okay, let me write it down. Date of birth, then address. Okay, what else? Hiring information and experience, bank detail. What else? Sorry, what did you say? Which other is there? Aadhaar card, okay. Yes, yes, Aadhaar card, right? Yes, Aadhaar card is certainly it's your personal information, which is actually important. So if you remember team, when you join a company, before you join a company, there is a whole booklet what they provide to you, right? Where you have to provide your information and you have to fill all those details. Now, Employee Central if you look at the term itself is talking about the employee. So all the information about the employee you have to fill in that particular, so now those thing has gone technical. So that's the reason all those information, which we fill in that booklet, it has become as an employee central. Okay. So which all other information you think which is required, which you'll be filling? Yes, Sophia?
family
Any
details,
salary detail? Yes, salary detail. Okay. And
previous company, means,
previous company
uh,
detail? Okay.
family,
And
family details.
family detail? Yes. You have a family detail. Yes, very important thing.
Mhm.
What else? What else? Or you think this is all the
Yes,
information which your organization
yeah.
requires?
Still more right now. I couldn't recall.
Okay. What about Bala? Okay. All right. No problem. Okay, your employee central is team is basically is being divided into two major sections. One is known as a corporate data, and another is known as a succession data. So what is the difference between corporate data and succession data? When you talk about the succession data, it is all your personal information. All right, it is all about employee info, those personal information. So like this is your personal information. So that's about your succession data, like your date of birth, which is, you can see it is every employee has a different date of birth, right? Like your contact information, every employee will have a different contact information, right? Then your family
Mhm.
member detail, every employee will have a different family detail, right? So these are the information which you provide to the organization, right? So that becomes a succession data. And corporate data, which your company provides it to an employee. All right, so company provides to employee. So that is your corporate data. So is it clear now?
Yes,
What is the difference between corporate data and succession data?
yeah.
Bala? All right. So let's do an exercise. So you people have given me this list of detail that, which is required for the employee master data, right? So let's start with this, what is master data and what is corporate data. So Bala, yes, you tell me what performance is corporate data or succession data. Yes, it's a corporate data. Okay, now Sophie, you tell me date of birth is what kind of a data?
It's personal data. Succession.
Succession data.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next one, address. Bala, address is your corporate or succession? Right, it's a succession data. Okay. What about the hiring?
Corporate
Sophie,
data. Corporate data.
hiring is a corporate data. Why? Because it's an organization which provides you that what is the date you will be joining the company, right? Okay, Bala, what is the experience? Which experience is this?
Mhm.
Profession. I think it's a previous company detail experience, right? Oh, okay. So it's a one and the same thing. So so what did you say? What kind of a data it is? Yes, it's a corporate data. All right. What about the bank details, Sophie?
Personal data.
Succession, right? Not personal.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Yes, Bala. What about Aadhaar card? Yes, Aadhaar card again. It's a succession data. And what about the salary details, Sophie?
It's corporate data.
It's a corporate data, right? And what about the family detail, Bala? It's a succession data, all right. Now since you people have given me all this information, so which is pretty much fine also. So now basically your employee central will be revolving around two kind of a data. One is a corporate data and another is a succession data. All right. So the entire employee central, we're going to focus on these two data model only. And then now let's understand how your employee central is beneficial with the other module. Okay, so here how employee central is different from other ERP. So tell me, team, how do you think that this employee central will be better from other module, or what other feature it has which is beneficial from the other module?
I don't have any idea of the ERP system.
No problem, Sophie. If you tell me it's fine. If you don't, then I'll list it down. What about Bala, you? Okay, so what Bala is saying, it's a cloud system, so that certainly it's an advantage. So because see, employee central or even your success factor system is basically it is an HR module, right? HR module in cloud system. Okay, before we go ahead even this also, let me know what is the basic difference between SAP success factor and your SAP R3 system? Because it's a common question that you'll come across while applying for a job or when you'll be interacting with other people. So what is the basic difference between these two teams? Mm-hmm. Okay, success success factor is basically it's based on a cloud system, and this is your premise system. Now, what is the basic difference between the cloud and the premise system? Well, R3 does not mean that it's a server. Actually, it is basically your premise solution, it means, that you will be, whenever you will log into the system, it will be, you will go ahead and you will, when you're at the company premise, then only you can work on this. All right, so that is what basically it's a cloud solution it means, right? Which means like, let's suppose if you are, give me a one company name, team, for which you want me to completely define the employee central for we're going to do. So give me one company name. ADP. Acha, ADP is in Hyderabad, right? I've trained ADP corporate batches. ADP Private Limited. All right, ADP Private Limited. All right, so entire your employee central, we're going to configure for ADP Private Limited. All right. So premise solution, it means you will be only be able to access the server when you are at the ADP premises. But in the cloud solution, which means that if you leave the premises of ADP, you will not be able to access the R3 system. But in SuccessFactors system, you can access it from anywhere in the world, as far as you have the internet connection and you have the credential. Okay, so you can access everything from the cloud solution, SuccessFactors. So this is what the major difference between your cloud and the premise solution actually means. I hope it is clear to both of you.
Yes.
Mm. Yeah, that's a different provision altogether, right? So you have found a solution that, even if you're not at the premise, that's a different thing altogether. But this is what the premise and cloud-based actually means. Okay. All right. Other thing that you will be finding in your SAP success factor system, it is that, it captures your history. What do you mean by it captures history? It means that, see, everything in your organization, whatever you have to do, it should be able to capture your history, right? It is very important from the HR perspective. Like, for example, let's suppose there is a person whose name is ABC, and this person has joined a company in Bangalore. He has joined TCS, and he has joined from the 1st of January. So he has joined from the 1st of January 2020. Now, initially when you join the company provides you the 14 days accommodation, right? So this 14 days accommodation, so here he stayed for till 14th, and after that he has to look for the another accommodation. So on 15th he looked for another accommodation. He searched for an accommodation which was near to his company. All right, so he stayed there. While interacting with some other people in the office, so what he did, there were, some people from the office, they said they have taken up a 3 BHK, and out of 3 BHK, there is a two room which has already been occupied, and after that, there is a one room which is empty. So they offered to this person ABC and asked him that if he would like to join that, in their 3 BHK. So this person agreed. So he stayed there for 5 days, but on 20th of January, he shifted with them, right? Until now, he is there with them. And here he stayed till 19th of 5 days, which means till 19th of January, he was there in this particular accommodation, right? So you can see I have captured all the history, right? So here you can see, so why you capture all the history? So that if anything happens in the organization, like anybody who comes into, that who they cannot join, or possibly, they cannot uh, go ahead and so let's suppose if there is an auditor comes into the organization, and if they want all these information, so you can't tell them, that you don't have the, all these information, right? So let's suppose this information is not present. So obviously your auditor is going to ask you, right, that what is this information which is present and what is not present. All right, that's a one thing. Second thing, it is, let's suppose by any chance if there is any police case which has happened. So this police case also you need to provide all this information, right? As an HR perspective, you can't tell to the policeman that you don't have a particular information. That is the reason capturing history is very important. All right, is it clear?
Yes.
All right. Not only capturing history, which is required for this one, your history, it is also required for, see, any data, it will require a history. Like, for example, address we just talked about, right? And in that case, let's suppose if your bank detail has changed. So that also, it is every data, it will have a history in Employee Center. Let's suppose you have joined this company from 1st of January 2020. And let's suppose your basic salary in this case, it is 10,000. Obviously, by next year, again, by 1st of January 2021, your again basic salary will increase, right? So let's suppose it becomes to 15,000. So here also you can see there is a history which is getting captured. So your history plays a lot of important roles into your any ERP system, right? So this is what actually you can see this ERP system is actually important. Then apart from this team, you can also create your association. What do you mean by association? Yes, team. Does anybody knows what is association? No, no, that is not an association. Association we mean here by relationship. Now, if you're coming from if you're coming from your SAP R3 background, so you will see it's like in your relationship which is there, right? So you have your relationship, like which you actually created into your organization management, right? So here we don't call it a relationship, we call it as an association. An association you'll be creating into all your corporate data only, like your cost center. Then you will have your department, division. All right. Then apart from this, you'll also have your business unit, location, geographical location. No, reporting manager is a different thing. That's a different relationship. But here we are talking about the association. It can only be happen about the corporate data only. Alright, you cannot create an association for succession data, or you cannot create an association anything apart from the corporate data. So in SuccessFactors, you can only create the association for your corporate data. So this is what the meaning of your association actually means. Then apart from this, what else you can do into your employee central? Here you can also create a record for future data. You can create record for future date. Alright, so what do you mean by you can create a record for the future date? It means that here it is like, like for example, today is 20th of January, you can even create a record for month of February also, right? So that is what it's a meaning of a future dated record. Then apart from creating a future dated record, here you can also create a workflow. Now, anybody who is coming from the SAP R3 system background would know it's like, to create a workflow, it is very challenging task in your SuccessFactors system, but in your R3 system, but in SuccessFactors system, it is very simple to create your workflow. All right, so here we're going to see how we can create all your workflow. All right, so there are two kind of a workflow. One is a standard workflow and another is a custom workflow. So we're going to cover both. So one is a standard and another is a custom workflow. Now both workflow are very simple. So I'll show you both. I'll cover both the topic. One is a standard and another is a custom workflow. Then apart from this, you also have to define the permission in your employee central module. Why permission is important? Permission is important because you can't give an everything access to one particular employee, right? Let's suppose there are three people, one is A, one is B, and one is C. So in this case, A is basically for your employee central, B is basically for your goal management, and C is basically for your performance management, right? So here you can see all these three people, they require a different access. Correct. So here you have like A will have a different access, B will have a different access, and C will have a different access, right? So that is the reason permission is required. So let's suppose A is only working on employee central, A is not working on goal and performance management, right? So in this case, basically you will not be giving permission for your goal and performance management to A. Why you will not give the access to goal and performance management? Because in this case, if A is not aware about goal and performance management, he will go and he will make unnecessary changes into the system, right? So this is what the permission actually it means into your employee central module. Okay. Any question, team, as of now? Yes, team. Any question?
No, on my side.
All right. Then apart from this, team, there is another important factor. So we have been talking about the two data model, right? One is a corporate data model and another is a succession data model. So let's see where we can use this corporate data model and succession data model. So if I come into the system, so here you can see the system. So this system you can, okay, one of the very common question what people they ask me, how to log in into the system. Whenever you log in into the system, you can see, Okay, this is known as the instance architecture. The system which you're seeing currently, it is known as an instance architecture. There are two kinds of an architecture in your success factor. One is an instance architecture and another is a provisioning architecture. All right. So instance architecture, which you're seeing it right now, provisioning architecture, we will talk later on. So here you can see there is a company ID, right? So here you have a company ID. Every company, they will have a different ID. So you need a company ID and username and a password. So for example, let's suppose if I'm logging into this company, I need my user ID. So in this case, my user ID is user5 and my password is, so I'll put in my user ID and password, and the moment I'll press enter, you will see it will take me inside the organization. Alright, so here you can see it has taken me inside this particular system, right? So the moment you log in, you will come to your home page. So here you can see it is, you have come to your home page. Now here you can see all these modules are coming here, like it's a goal management, performance management, or whether it's a, you have the organization chart, employee file, or the admin center, right? Here you can also search for people or any particular node if you are searching for it. And this side you are seeing, it's your all these details like your proxy now or setting admin center, all these details we will discuss this one by one. But first let's come to the admin center. Admin center is one of the very common area as a success factor consultant you'll be working on. Alright. So this is almost like 70%. If you're a success factor consultant, almost like 70% of your time you'll be working on this admin center. Alright, so in admin center only you can see where you can come and do all these configuration, right? For example, let's suppose if you want to do it for the goal management, so here you will do for the goal management. If you want to do for the performance management, here you are doing it for the performance management. Alright, and then let's suppose if you're doing for compensation, so in this area you will come here and do it for the compensation, right? So in admin center, you're doing all the configuration which is required. Alright, so here you can see all these configuration, it is coming into the picture. Then apart from this team, so there is another thing here. So here you can see manage organization pay and job structure. So this is, so this manage organization pay and job structure is nothing, it's just a corporate data. All these element or the object that you'll find into manage organization pay and job structure, it is all about your corporate data. So if you come here into this section, if I click on manage organization pay and job structure, every screen in your employee central is being divided into two segregation. One is a search section and another is a create new section. In search section, you can search for things like, for example, let's suppose if you want to search for the location group. So here you can search for it, right? Like, for example, you can see AMG, which is for the USA. Somebody has defined this location. If you come here, you can define some other locations, right? Asia Pacific. So here you can see Asia Pacific, it is coming, right? So like this here, you can search for it. If you want to create something new, so here you can come and you can select the location group. Here you can see you can go ahead and create this location group. Okay. Then apart from this team, you will also see like pay range. So here again, you can search for all these pay range, which has been already existing defined. So you can see in this pay range, which is manager PR. So in this case, the minimum pay and the maximum pay, it is defined into the system, right? So how much is your pay range? If you want to define a new one, so again, you can select a pay range and here you can define the new pay range for your employee. Alright, so this is this is the search section and this is a new section. Now here you can see all these, object which is coming, right? Like location group, geo zone, location,